So just to take you on a little journey of how I managed to ultimately achieve one of my dreams, something on my bucket list is to break a sub 3 hour marathon. So just to go way back before we actually discuss how and what journey I went on to do that, just want you to be aware that I did do a lot of marathons before this. So I did, since 2007, been running a lot of marathons in various parts of the world. So started off in 2007 with London, then on Paris, Berlin, New York, Abingdon, Dubai a couple of times as well. So my love for running started way back at school, and then I got into marathon running once I left school and started working in the fitness and health industry, and then did a whole batch of marathons before I decided I was going to take on this journey, this dream of mine to achieve a sub 3 hour marathon. So why sub 3 hours? I got very close to it back in, here are my medals, back in 2011 in Abingdon. I did a 3:14, so 3 hours 14 minutes is what I got to on that marathon, and yeah, was quite close to doing that. So always had this sub 3 hour kind of target in my mind to achieve. So since then, I looked at some races, looked at what I could do in terms of running. So it wasn't until about 2019, 2020 when I decided I was going to get back into the marathon running. I had a few years off after I did my latest marathon back in 2016, and then decided 2019, 2020 that I wanted to do this. So the year was 2020. And I decided I was going to sign up for a marathon and try and break that magical 3 hour mark. So I looked at some marathons. I wanted to keep it local to where I live. So I looked at the Dubai Marathon here in the UAE, and it normally happens towards the end of January. So I looked at entering that, saw that it wasn't officially open yet. We had obviously the pandemic during 2020, so events weren't happening, and they weren't sure if they were going to actually do the marathon. So I got hold of the people that run the marathon. They weren't sure yet. They said just to check in maybe a couple of months before. So I decided anyway just to start training for this marathon that I was going to do. Hopefully it was going to be Dubai. Hopefully it was going to be a set course that I could use and officially break that 3 hour marathon. So started training in early October 2020. So 16 weeks towards my marathon training. So 16 weeks of training. Lots of running, and then stuff around that, so stretching, foam rolling and stuff to help me through that. So I started early October and then managed to obviously get through that training, and then managed to speak to the Dubai Marathon team again, and they decided not to stage the race, and it actually didn't happen. So I was kind of I was quite upset because I wanted to get the medal and break that 3 hours on the Dubai circuit, but for COVID reasons and pandemic reasons that didn't happen. So I kind of thought, well, I've done weeks of training anyway, let me carry on with my training, let me do my own marathon. There's great places here in Dubai where you can run. So I looked at some areas and decided on Al Qudra, which is actually a cycle track, but nice, quiet place to run, not much going on. All I needed was someone to be there and to be there with support. So I decided to do it in Al Qudra, and I looked at how I could do it, and started to get my little team together. Asked my brother if he could help. Another friend called Sam managed to help me as well, and we decided that I was going to do this towards the end of January. It was literally a day before the Dubai Marathon was meant to be. So it was on the 21st of January 2021, and basically didn't want to stop all my training, wanted to carry it on, and managed to keep that going, managed to keep a good good kind of injury-free training. So yeah, carried on the training and then decided on Al Qudra on the cycle track. Managed to get my brother and my friend Sam to, well, it was my brother and his friend, and then Sam jumped on board later on to help us again. They came, it was 4:30 or 5 in the morning, can't remember the exact time, but we managed to get out to the track and start the race. They were on their bikes. I had had them for support the whole way around. So got there really early. The track was pretty much mine, just a few cyclists around. So nice, open, free roads pretty much, and decided to crack on with the marathon on my own. So effectively a solo marathon. So managed to get around. Was feeling really good, really confident. Felt great. And then got to maybe 32k and felt my body slowing down and gradually not doing the pace that I hoped for. So this wasn't a great sign, and yeah, just kind of slowed down quite a bit towards the last 10k. So I had a bit of water, that was pretty much it. Didn't drink much until the end of the marathon that I did, and effectively just quite dehydrated, not enough nutrition on board for me then, and just slowed right down. Managed to finish obviously and get to the finish line. It was really close, managed to get there in 3 hours and 46 seconds. So yeah, 46 seconds slower than I should have been, which is pretty close considering that I wasn't well fueled or hydrated, but managed to finish it, but not under that magical 3 hour mark. So as soon as I stopped, the first thing I said to my brother was, I'm doing it again. I need to break 3 hours. And he was like, what? You've just literally stopped. Just relax, think about it, and we can look at it from there. So since I said those words to him, I wanted to do it again. I had in my mind that I was gonna do it. So I decided to do it 2 weeks later, which was probably too soon, but I didn't want to wait too long to lose that kind of focus. So I managed to get my brother again, friend Sam this time on board. He advised on some good gels to use, hydration, when to hydrate, what fuel to take on board, when to take it on board. And if anything was going to get me through it the second time, it was going to be my fuel and my hydration. Because the fitness was there, no injuries, everything else was great. It was just those two things, nutrition and my hydration. So we kind of put together a little plan when I was going to take on board my fuel and water, and then off we went again. We went off at maybe 4 a.m. It was really early. I remember us planning it so I could finish by 3 hours, and my wife and the kids could come and see me before school, so it had to be at like 7 or just before 7 that they could meet me there, and then they would have to rush back down to get to school. So we went off at about 4 a.m. So still dark, nice temperature, nice and cool. Took off, and this time was just a straight 21.1k road, and then come back 21.1k. No turns, no inclines, just flat out and back route, which was perfect for me. So took off, felt amazing, felt great, managed to get around, forced myself to drink and eat, which helped a lot, and managed to get the right fuel, right liquids on board, and managed to do really well actually. Finished strong, felt confident the whole way around, and yeah, through the help of Sam and my brother again, managed to get around in just under 3 hours. So it was 2 hours 59 and 49 seconds. So managed to do it and kind of achieve my ultimate goal and one of my lifetime dreams of breaking that sub 3 hour marathon time. So took a bit of planning, consideration for fuel and hydration, but yeah, managed to get there in the end, and really chuffed obviously that I managed to do that. And the other thing I did do whilst I was running, I did it in the Vibram 5-finger shoes. So pretty much a barefoot feel. So there's no support from a shoe. It's literally like a glove for your foot. I trained throughout the 16 weeks in those, and I wore those for both races again, so managed to pretty much run it pretty much barefoot, you could say. All you get with the Vibram is some grip on the roads, so I managed to do it in under 3 hours and in the 5-finger shoes, which was amazing as well. So that's my story, that's my journey. I hope I've inspired you, and I hope you can achieve your dreams and goals as well.